Hello, welcome back to our kitchen. I know you love me not saying that, but I did. Today we're going to make Thai butternut squash soup. Had lots of requests. Friends love it, it's a favorite. It's unique and we're going to make that today and show you how to do it. We're going to use the equivalent of a 4.5 pound butternut squash. It's above the average size you'd find in your supermarket. So we have that pre-diced. We have 1 medium onion diced, 8 medium to small cloves of garlic, an ounce of sliced ginger fresh. We're going to use the equivalent of 1 stick of lemongrass that you can find in your Asian store. If you don't have that luxury, you can find in your local city market, it's a 115 gram tube of organic lemongrass puree. You can use that as an alternative. Works just as well. Sweet chili sauce and fresh cilantro, coconut milk, and we'll get to it. What I like to do first is actually slice our garlic and make sure we've got it sliced up so we get all the flavor out of it. And once I've done that, we'll get into the sauteing of the onions, garlic, ginger, butternut squash, and Daniel's going to help with that. So we're going to start our soup with about 50 ml of avocado oil we like to use. You can use vegetable oil, it doesn't matter. We're going to add our onions and Daniel's going to saute these with a spoon. We have 1 ounce of fresh ginger, just roughly chopped. And now 8 cloves of garlic sliced. We're also going to add 2 good pinches of salt to start the seasoning, and we'll correct the seasoning when the soup is finished. Now we're going to add our the chopped butternut squash from the 4.5 pound butternut squash. And Daniel will just stir that in and roll it around. So you just mix it all up. Keep it in there. So we've sauteed all our vegetables. We're adding 2 cans of unsweetened coconut milk. And Daniel will stir that around.
That sure is quiet.
Now we're adding about 2 more cups of water so you're covering the top of the butternut squash. Then what we're adding to the soup is some fresh lemongrass. So the fresh lemongrass that you get, like I said, you can get that puree in City Market, which works great. If you have access to fresh lemongrass, what you want to do is just take your cook's knife and hit it and break it up. And that lets all the flavor of the lemongrass infuse into your soup. After the soup is cooked, we'll take the lemongrass and the cilantro out of the soup so it remains nice and orange without any green in it. Now we're going to add 3 tablespoons of our May Ploy sweet chili sauce. The lemongrass that we squashed, Daniel's just going to take that and we'll just stand it up inside the pot there.
Smells like lemon.
Then we'll take our 1 bunch of nice washed fresh cilantro. We're just going to sit it on top And we want when the butternut squash is cooking, we're going to put the lid on now. We just want the steam to infuse and pull the flavors out of that fresh cilantro and lemongrass so we can remove it later and get all that flavor without the green color in the pumpkin soup. So we'll pop our lid on there now. We're going to let it come to the boil, and then we'll turn it down to a slow boil with the lid on until the pumpkin's nice and soft.
When it gets to a boil, we need to turn it down to a low simmer.
So our soup's been simmering with the lid on for around 40 to 50 minutes. Depending on how hard of or soft simmer that you are cooking it on, it's going to take around 40 to 50 minutes. So as you can tell, the butternut squash is just nice and tender now, and that's enough. That's all we need. The lemongrass and the cilantro is all infused in flavor, and we're going to take that out before we blend it. We're going to now remove our lemongrass and cilantro from the pot, and just have a pair of tongs, and you just transfer. You can let it drip off and just transfer it to a bowl. We won't be needing that anymore. Like I said, it's been infusing the soup with all those nice Thai flavors for this soup, and that's why we left it on top. And we can just take it out, and we'll end up blending the remainder of the soup. Now, because this is hot, you want to be super careful with blending the hot liquid. If you don't do things that are important, you could seriously burn yourself. So you don't want to add too much liquid in there. You want to add more body than liquid and only do it around half full. You also want to make sure that your plastic top on your blender is off, and start on slow and just leave it on there to stop the splash, but it's there to release the hot air. So we want to start it on slow. So that the steam and the hot air doesn't explode out. And then go up. We have a variable blender which starts off slow automatically and builds up to a faster speed. If you don't have that, you just want to start on your slowest speed, because that hot pressure from the steam, it will burst out of your blender. You just transfer it to a bowl, and we're going to blend the remaining soup before we present it in the bowl. So we've finished blending all our soup. You want to make sure that the seasoning is correct before you serve it. So we're going to let the boss taste it today and correct the seasoning if it's needed.
Me or Mr.?
Oh, you.
Needs a little salt.
Needs just a pinch. You're good?
That's good.
Good? Excellent. So we're done with our soup. We're going to garnish it now. We've used some red julienne pepper just for color, and some fresh cilantro, because that's also one of the main flavor ingredients, being a Thai butternut squash soup. We're just going to add our garnish. You can use whatever you want. I think the red and the green goes great with the orange. And then you have it, a nice Thai flavored soup for winter. It also goes great with seafood, but that'll be in another video where I'll sear some halibut and some vegetables, and we'll present that in the soup as well. And so be watching out for that one on our YouTube channel.
And this one was made out of this.